Alright, we're out here in the loft. 4 days until Lucerne babies are due. It's the girls' shift. They both just got on the nest. Taco is still not laid her second egg, but I'm not worried because she's still very healthy looking. She just got on the nest, but she's perky and she's alert. She doesn't look uncomfortable in any way. And I'll put my hand in here so you can see that she's still quite willing to defend the nest, and there's no signs of like egg binding. Taco is a late layer sometimes, but also we've had two clutches in a row before this that she didn't get to sit on for long enough, so she just may not be building a second egg this time. But I imagine if she's gonna lay, it's gotta be today at some point. Hi, who is that? Hi, Cloud. Are you going back to your wife? They have this weird little ritual where when he wants to get on the nest, he goes and he coos at her like so. Sometimes there is some pecking involved, because apparently sitting on the nest is a coveted position. Cloud, have you considered that maybe she wants to lay a second egg and maybe you should let her? She does not want you there, dude. Cloud is pretty insistent on taking his turn. You can do it, Storm. Whoa! Everyone's flying at once. She's a lot more comfortable getting close to me. Before she wouldn't have tried to fit in this space. She would have waited until I left to bother. But now that I've been bribing her, she's decided maybe I'm all right. At the very least, I'm not a serious threat. Get some wing flicking going on there for Cloud, I assume. I don't know if you can see him right there. What are you doing, Newt? Newt's in my head. He's being kind of fidgety. He's a heavy boy. I don't really notice the weight of the other birds very much, but it's got some meat on him. That's the sound of our tractor slash lawnmower. Sorry, that's loud. So yeah, I came out this morning and I checked literally everywhere for a second taco egg, but no sign yet. We may just get a single egg clutch. May just be what we get. Very funny how compelling pigeons find eggs. They really want to sit on them. Look at him. He's like, I want to sit on the egg. Let me sit on the egg. Did he boot you off the egg? Did he boot you off the egg? Well, if we only have to do one baby, it's not ideal, but you know, hopefully it's a hen, because we're hoping for a hen for somebody's wife. We determined that the bird that the adopter currently has would probably do better with a tippler, just in terms of size, because he's a little boy. He's a small dude. And if the Lucerne babies look less like Storm and more like Newt, who is a big man, I'm afraid that if I do give them a male Lucerne, that their current male will get the crap beaten out of him. Because I think a Lucerne could really put his weight around with a bird that size, especially if he takes after his dad. But you know, going for a tippler instead. Hopefully we'll get a little girl like Taco. Tipplers seem to range in size a bit. I've heard opinions that Cloud is rather big for a tippler, but he's actually about the same size or a little smaller than his parents. And Taco is quite smaller than her parents were. When I went to get Taco, not Taco, sorry, Taco's parents, around 3 years ago now, maybe more, oops, hi! I found that, the birds that he offered me were, you know, definitely ranging in size. There was this one male who was about twice the size of his wife. He was huge. I'll never forget that bird. I know now he was probably a recessive red. His wife was a recessive white. But he was huge. Way bigger than any of these birds. But shaped like a tippler. Maybe he was a cross of some kind, I don't know. But yeah, Taco's a little girl. I haven't scale trained the adults, but I will definitely be doing that with the babies, so that they'll accept being weighed and you can keep track of their health. Out here we just sort of feel keels when we have the opportunity, and you know, that's how we're going to keep an eye on their breeding condition. I may try to see if I can get a better scale for caging the adults, because the one I have is a good one for you know, reptiles, but it's a little slippery, and you know, birds don't like to necessarily stand still on slippery things. Alright, I'm gonna switch to shoulder view for a while, because Taco's having some time with me. Taco decided that she's more interested in the nest than hanging out. I wonder if that's a sign she's feeling like she needs to lay, but it's hard to tell. But as you can see, she's obviously not in any discomfort, because she's being very active. She's not hunched, she's not panting, she's not straining, she's not all poofed up. It's just being her normal self. I've never had Storm miss a lay, but well, I think she may have had a weird first lay. Some hens only lay one egg their first time, and others are good layers consistently. But Taco occasionally misses the second date and lays her second egg late. So we may get a second egg and we may not. But either way, until she shows signs of actual problems, I'm not gonna worry about it. Get some minerals in you? What are you looking at? My mysterious little girl. What are you carrying? Genetically, huh? I'd love to know. Basically what happens every time I show the parents of Taco and Cloud, plus Taco and Cloud, to a group of people interested in pigeon genetics and ask them, hey, what's going on here? You get about the same answer, same conversation every time, which is, oh, that's a sex-linked mating. All boys will be red, and all girls will be blue. And then I show them Taco, and they're like, well, that has to be a boy. And I'm like, it's not. And they're like, no, it has to be. And I'm like, trust me, she's not. And they're like, no, it's a sex-linked pairing. That has to be a boy. And I go, no, I watched her lay her very first egg, and she's laid monthly ever since. And then everyone goes kind of quiet. They do not really have any solid answers for what happened. You know, everyone's got some theory, but most people don't have anything that really answers all my questions about the parents. The closest answer to like all my questions came from a guy who, while his profile was filled with a lot of anti-mask stuff, he did have a good explanation for what might be going on. So that's the closest I've gotten so far, which is that you know, Taco may be a homozygous indigo, and you know, those homozygous indigo actually can make a pseudo ash red and completely cover up blue. So if Storm was, say, pseudo ash red, she wouldn't have those dark bars. She would look much more like Taco. But most pseudo ash reds look a little bit different from Taco, so I think there's something else happening there too. Somebody suggested perhaps she's got some form of bronzing gene that makes her neck so shiny. But you know, it's very hard to say what's going on there until we get a couple babies to look at. So yeah, our best guess right now in terms of genetics is Taco is maybe homozygous indigo plus Gimple, perhaps, or as the guy who gave me the explanation for their father said, that she may have some sort of tippler bronzing gene, which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently is. So that'd be interesting to see on the kids. And the The current thought for Cloud is that he's probably, no guarantees, ash red, split blue, spread. And yes, he does have bars, even though he may be spread. But apparently, if you have split spread, which is a dominant gene, so it's always going to show up, split spread on ash red birds is more likely to show visible bars. He may also have indigo, because if Taco is a homozygous indigo, that means she got a copy from both of her parents, which means there's a very good chance Cloud also has indigo. I also think he's probably got dirty or some other darkening factor. He's definitely split dilute, which means he's carrying dilute but cannot express it because his mother was dilute, and the mother is always going to pass down dilute to her son, because it's on the Z chromosome, which is when you combine it with another Z, how you get a male. If she passed down the W chromosome, she would actually not be able to pass down dilute, because dilute does not live on the W chromosome, and that's how you make a hen, with ZW. So Taco does not have dilute. Cannot be carrying it, because if she was carrying it, we would see it. And she's obviously not. Now, in terms of dilute, the Lucernes are both dilute. Newt is a more obvious case, because he's the yellow. Yellow is easier to spot in terms of dilute. But Storm is also dilute. She's technically what you would call a silver bar, but dilute is a little less extreme on bluebirds. But she is very light, because she's also got an extra dilute factor that is found in Lucernes, which a lot of people don't really understand in terms of how it's passed on, which is called bleached. So the Lucernes babies, while they will definitely be half yellow and half silver bar, they may not necessarily be bleached or have a gold collar. But the grouse muffs and the crests will both stay, because they are recessive and require 2 copies at least. Though the peak crest is it's a combination of genes, but either way, they'll pass it on, because they really have no other option genetically. They've got nothing else in there to spread on. Now, if we had a Lucerne breed with one of the tipplers, the tippler head shape in terms of crest would win out, but the baby would be carrying a gene for crest. So if you bred that baby with a crested individual, you'd probably get, just doing the math now, probably like 75% crest. Like, there would definitely be some babies that just didn't get both crest genes, but I may be doing that wrong. I'm really bad at math. There is actually a pigeon genetic calculator out there, which there's several versions of. I will link the most current version in the video description, so you can check it out if you want. You can add your own genes, to this to this calculator. One version of the calculator has sort of pre-built genes that aren't already added, but you can just put them in and they'll tell you how they work already. I'll link that one too, but it is the older version, so it's good to reference, but maybe you want to actually do your calculations on the newer version. And that's how I've spent some recent time just doing a lot of plugging different combinations into there and seeing what comes out in terms of the tipplers and what we might get. I find it fun, and when you have a pair where you're not sure exactly what's going to come out, or if you want to know if your pair is sex linked and you're just not great with the genes yet, it's a great way to sort of double check your work, or learn how well-known genes work or interact. There are some example pictures of you know, what the bird should look like. They're not all completely accurate, of course, and you know, little subtle modifications do change things. But it gives you an idea of what's going on. Hi, Newt. Hi, Newt. Is it cooler today, buddy? Yeah, you gotta get used to summer. You came from Texas. I know you can handle it. I know you can handle it. I put the cover on the roof. It is just a nicer day, though. Probably give him a bath in a couple days. Maybe 3 days before the babies hatch, so nobody has to leave the nest and come back soggy. I like to give my birds baths as frequently as possible, especially during the summertime when I feel like they're more likely to pick up some random bug or whatnot. Just gets in them. Plus, you know, if they do occasionally accidentally poop on each other, so helps them get, you know, crap off their wings. Very pleased that Newt's, our most tolerant bird, passed his lice inspection yesterday. If anything's gonna be in my loft, I kind of assumed that would have been it. But he is pretty pristine. Everybody must be pretty clean, huh? We spread out his wing and checked all his flights, and then we checked his neck and his face for any nits from the free roaming lice. But you know, there's no sign. He looks clean as can be. I definitely don't think they would have come in on the Lucernes if we did have lice. I think they would have been from the tipplers, and like, you know, originally the tipplers' parents and the loft they were in. But I think we took the babies away pretty early because everybody was pretty crowded in the enclosure that we had at the time. So I don't think they got a chance to be invested. And this loft is, you know, very isolated from other birds. Honestly, we've got this big tree right overhead, which really discourages birds from hanging out on top of the loft, where you know, their droppings can get in, stuff like that. Plus, you know, we've got the roof on the other side. Oh, ow. I'm not used to not wearing pants out here. You got sharp claws, dude? I need more bricks. I need more bricks out here. What are you doing down there? Are you excited? Why are you trembling? See this? This is a thing that pigeons do when they are either excited or afraid. Obviously, he's not afraid. So he's just excited to be hanging out with me. He does it sometimes. He's very cute. Cloud is also a trembler when he sees me. Taco occasionally does it, but I don't think she does it as often. What you doing, big guy? Huh? Are you struggling to eat that pea? I believe in you. See, this is why it's difficult to feed the tipplers with my fingers, is because they're they drop shit really easily. What you doing? Huh? What you doing? Oh, hi. Thank you. You're very close to the camera, so I gotta back up a little bit. Taco is on my foot and it tickles. Thank you for getting off my foot, dearling. Dearling? Darling. That's the word. Hi. You can see in some lights that Newt has red eyes. They're very dark. Lucernes are supposed to have bull eyes, but you know, due to some recent outcrossings and his and even Storm's heritage, they both have really dark red eyes instead of the bull eyes they're supposed to have. But I'm not breeding for show, so I don't care. I'm breeding for friendly birds. Also, something to mention that I found out recently and then sort of forgot to tell anybody about. If you are looking into Lucernes as a pet in your house, hi, and you are sensitive to bird dust, you should know Lucernes are just you know, a little bit dustier than your normal pigeon. I've never, you know, had to deal with that because they're out here in this very well ventilated area. But if you keep them inside, you should definitely have a strong filter. Are we doing vertical time? I really enjoy broody birds. All they can think about is the nest. Even Newt, who is well entertained by me, even Cloud, who is turned on by me, even Taco, who is great friends with me. I do not compare to the joy of sitting on eggs. There is nothing that compares to the joy of sitting on eggs, apparently. Taco says it's... Sorry. Cloud says it's his turn still. Newt is asking very gently to be on the nest. He says, please? Oh, are you gonna give it up? That's nice of you. That's nice of you. Are you gonna hop on my head? Sure is. What are you doing, Newt? He says, I'm a fuss with the nest. Oh, did you find a safflower seed? Storm says, what do you have? Huh? What you got in there? It's her favorite food ever. If you didn't notice in the earlier parts of the video, Storm was getting very close to me for investigation purposes, I guess. And not looking particularly shy about it. Kind of wish I'd bribed her. Well, am I your way? I bribed her, like, you know, a year ago when she first arrived, made friends quicker. But you know, we all learn. We all figure out the best way to bond with our birds. Cloud, you're not gonna peck me in the eye, right? He's like leaning over the front of my head, just looking at me. Look at those black flecks. I've noticed that they definitely seem to pick these up more as they get older. If they're carrying the gene for it. Usually it means they're carrying blue, but not always. We know Newt's carrying blue though because his mother was blue. That's all she had to pass down. But his dad was ash red. So he got the ash red gene, and that's on top. Oh, it's just too shaky, isn't it? I'm trying to rest my hands. Where are you going? Oh, back up. Yeah, I find that stump very helpful to land on. You jump down to the brick. Maybe the brick should be closer to that. What do you think? What do you think? Just give you a better system. What are you thinking about? You want to get down? You on your way? You gonna get some food? He's like, why are you watching me? I'm not gonna get you. What? Who was that? It's Newt. What are you boys doing? When the boys first met, Cloud was an adult and Newt was a juvenile, but he was very close to maturing. They hazed the babies, as any established pair is going to do when new birds arrive in their enclosure. Or flock. Ferals do it too. And Newt was sort of chased around for a while. Are you going for my head? Where are you going? Can you get my hand? He says, no, I don't want to go near your hand. But Newt grew up. And he's on my head. And he ended up being, he's a sizable bird. He's not as big as Cloud. Once Newt reached maturity, started to push back. There were a lot of scuffles. You can see one of the scuffles in the first pigeon pool time video that I posted, which is from last summer, I believe. And that was when they were still figuring out who gets to be boss, who gets to be top cock in the loft. And as soon as Newt won, Storm was all over him. Apparently she is attracted by power and by a male who can protect her nest. Now Cloud is fairly good at just avoiding conflict, though he's a little stupid sometimes about it. He really wants something, he'll start a fight, but then he backs off pretty quick when Newt puts his foot down. Do you really want to get on that nest? He really wants to get on that nest. Hey, can I feel your keel? Here I come. Here I come. Let me feel it. It's definitely better than it used to be. You know, every bird's keel is a little different. Like, Newt is what I sort of expected a keel to feel like, but, you know, I've felt the tipplers when they were inside, and they didn't have as much muscle mass then because they weren't flying as much. So they had a bit of a sharp keel, but now it's definitely better, and compared to Newt's keel, everyone's keel feels sharp, but it's just meaty. I'm just lucky that I have birds who will stand there and let me feel them up, because they're happy to bite me while I do so.